Hey everyone, welcome in to another daily editorial here on the KE Report. In this daily editorial, I'm getting an update from Kenorland Minerals, traded on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol KLD, on the OTCQX under the symbol NWRCF, and on the Frankfurt Exchange under the symbol 3WQO. Now, I am chatting with the President and CEO, Zach Flood. Kenorland Minerals is a hybrid prospect generator exploration company. The company works with a handful of well-known large mining companies, many of them moving forward. A number of projects in Quebec, Ontario, Manitoba, Alaska, and BC. Now, Zach, I wanted to follow up on the most recent news release that came out November 15th. It's a broad exploration update. Now, I will post a link to that news release because there's a lot of projects that you are updating us on, and we just quite frankly won't have time to go through each and every one of them. But for all of you listening, if you read over that news release and you want any more information on any of the projects, please email me and let me know. First and foremost, quick financial overview here is that the forecasted exploration expenditures on the properties which Kenorland holds is expected to be a little over $31 million this year. Zach, take us through just the size of these programs, how they're allocated, please.
Sure thing. Yeah. So the bulk of the expenditures is really in the Frotet project, which is under joint venture with Sumitomo Metal Mining. We've had a number of big drill programs there. I think in the first quarter we drilled around 12,000 meters. We have a current program of around 11,000 meters. We made some discoveries in the first quarter this year in the deeper parts of the system, so we're currently following up on some of those. And beyond that, there was another drill program in the first quarter at Chebistuan, which is held under an earn-in agreement with Newmont. We made a brand new grassroots discovery there of an intrusion-related gold system. We hit about 157 meters at 0.4 grams per ton gold. Now, not technically economic, the grades were fairly low, but this was the first pass drill program. We put about 2,000 meters drill defensive holes there and tagged a brand new system. So there's likely going to be a follow-up program in the first quarter next year on that. And then we had another drill program up in Alaska with Antofagasta. We hit some mineralization in one of the porphyry systems there, fairly low grade. So I wouldn't say it's a big success, but we've added a huge amount of data to that project over the last 2 years, including last year. We ran a number of big geophysical surveys and geochemical surveys on a number of different targets. Some of those still remain untested. So, there's still a lot of potential, I think, on the project. But yeah, this summer, that's exploration for you. You're not going to hit it out of the park on every drill program. Antofagasta was funding that, so we didn't have to spend any of our own money. That's the beauty of this business model, is the high risk capital is kind of provided by partners that are earning into the projects. So those were kind of the main drill programs, I would say, that soaked up most of the exploration expenditures in 2023. There was a number of other surface programs and geophysical programs that we ran this year in Quebec and Ontario as well, and British Columbia as well. Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty big year. Out of the 31 million that we're anticipating is going to be kind of the total in 2023. About 26 million of that was financed from third parties or our partners, really. So that's it, for project generation. I think you want to see a big ratio in terms of partner funded to sole funded exploration. So we see that here. We're also managing most of this exploration, and through that management, we earn revenue through management fees, some cash payments included in the deals too, and that's looking like it's going to come in at approximately 3.2 million for 2023 in revenue, and that really, I think, highlights the sustainability of this business model. Is we actually have a lot of revenue coming in, covering almost all of our overhead costs. So the money that we are spending really is going into the ground on our sole funded exploration.
Well, that's always what investors want to see, and that's what moves exploration forward, is putting that money into the ground. You did outline just how much partners are covering a large portion of that. Let's talk a little bit about plans for next year then. Do you or can you give us any insights on how much will be spent or is anticipated to be spent next year?
Yeah, we're starting to get a better idea of that number, but it's looking, and this a lot of this is pending final approvals from partners as well, but it is looking like it might be over 25 million, 25 to 30 million potentially, and this is, there's a lot of kind of moving targets here, but I think that this is kind of in line with what we've spent this year. We've gotten the company up kind of on plane, spending 25 to 30 million dollars a year on early stage exploration across a number of projects. I mean, that's really how you're going to generate new discoveries. Is you got to go out and you got to spend money doing big early stage surveys, geochem surveys, geophysical surveys, and then ultimately drill testing a lot of these targets. And again, I think that really is the selling point on Kenorland, is the exposure to all these projects and potential discoveries being generated within them. So
Now, Zach, how do you manage all these programs? Because you are a manager of them, and you even said, look, the company is receiving a little over $3 million in revenue from these management fees. But how do you manage these drill programs and also still go out there and generate new projects, new targets?
well, we've got a world class exploration team. I don't use that word lightly, but it really is, I think, one of the best exploration teams out there. We've got a number of people on the technical side, a number of geoscientists, that are experts in different fields, whether it's geophysics, geochemistry, geology, and then we have a really dialed operations team too that can go out and execute on all this exploration, and they're really focused on exactly that, the execution. Not getting bogged down in the data or targeting. They can just focus on that, while the technical team is not getting bogged down in contracts and logistics and operations too. So we have the benefit of a large team that can carry out all of this exploration in a really effective way, and it's really great to see this all kind of coming together over the last couple of years.
So just a little bit more color on that Frotet project in Quebec. As you said, most of the money, or a large portion of the money, was allocated to this project, and you have been drilling this discovery off here in multiple phases. What has you excited about this Frotet project, and what are some of the next big stepping stones for Frotet?
Well, I guess what's exciting is every drill program that we've had, we've allocated a certain amount of the drill budget and meters to, more aggressive step outs or deeper holes in areas that don't have any drilling, searching for, new mineralized structures. And every time we've done that, we've found additional structures, and the deposit has grown every time, we've completed a drill program. So if that, pattern continues, then the deposit continues to grow, and that's what you need to see. You need to see scale. I think our partner Sumitomo needs to see and has seen the scale here too. So we're still a ways away from being able to, I think, say when a resource is going to come out on this, but certainly the footprint continues to grow, and it looks like a really big gold system, and that's what you need. I think ultimately at the end of the day is a large, high grade gold system to really justify any sort of development. So that's what's exciting there, and actually going forward, on that note of growth or expansion and new discovery, there's an area just to the east of the known system, a completely new area with no drilling. We have some indications in the geochemistry that there's in the surface geochemistry that there's potentially some satellite targets that exist. We've been focusing on the main kind of Renault system, but it'll be exciting. I think we'll see some drills out there the first quarter next year, and that has potential to really kind of rapidly grow the size potential there.
Okay, what about Chebistuan too? You mentioned new discovery that was made, Newmont as a partner. In the first quarter of the year, it was the 7-hole maiden drill program that made that discovery. How do you go about following up? How aggressive do you think Newmont wants to be in following up?
Yeah, we'll see. I think I think it justifies kind of a 3 to 4,000 meter program. There's a number of satellite targets around there too that we've identified from the geophysics. Mind you, this area has deep till and there's lakes there, so there's really no outcrop. But there are some satellite targets that have similar geophysical expressions as the main discovery area. So we'd like to test those, and of course, we're going to be stepping out on that discovery hole, along strike and as well as underneath it is, and to see, does the grade change, and what does the system look like in the third dimension? Because really, we just have one drill hole in it.
Okay, final project that I just want to quickly cover with you is that South Uchi project, and I want to cover this one because it is 100% owned by Kenorland Minerals. Now, you completed some surface work on this project. We don't have those results back yet, but what should investors be focused on in terms of the potential of South Uchi, understanding it is still early stage?
Yeah, South Uchi, I think that's a big focus for us. Like we're committing our own dollars into the ground there. Obviously, we're excited about it, and we think this warrants, more of an aggressive approach, and we want to see 100% of the upside here. There's a few targets on the property in terms of commodity. We're looking at an area that's really prospective for gold. There's obvious lithium potential with the Macomb lithium deposit sitting a couple hundred meters along strike off of our ground. And there's a nickel target as well that we see from the regional data that could be potentially related to like a nickel sulfide system. So, with all of these different mineral system targets, I'd say it's for lack of a better phrase, a target rich environment. And I think all of the sampling that we did this summer is going to generate some really refined areas to go in and follow up on with geophysics, and we'll see what the data shows and whether it justifies, drill testing, but that could happen next year potentially. Yeah, it's exciting times in Ontario there.
Zach, one other quick thing to note on the financial part is the company's cash position and some of the equity holdings. Take us through what the company holds, please.
Yeah, currently we're looking at about $24 million in the treasury and about 4.7 million in equity positions in both private and other publicly listed companies. So right now, Kenorland's really well financed for, I would say, years to come. There's no need to finance, unless there's a strategic reason to. So it's a good position to be in a market like this, Corey.
All right, Zach, thank you very much for this update. Again, that news release has a lot more project updates, so please be sure to click that link below, read over the different updates, and let me know if you want us to focus on any more of the exploration programs that are underway or have been completed this year. Zach, thank you very much for your time. I'll follow up with you as some more news hits the market.
Thank you, Corey.